How did they come into your channeling process?
There's no word or voice, it's just such a strong knowing. I probably didn't sense when I first channeling, but I started seeing spirits at a very young age, which I of course ignored. I was in my grandmother's house lying down. Suddenly, when I woke up, I saw this man standing right beside the bed. My grandmother said, "That is the old."
What happens when you, for example, release the spirits? After that, how do you feel? Or do you take any kind of protection before that?
Yes, I do take protection. I pray and I keep my gurus there. All the gurus that I have known all my life. One was I take Osho as my guru.
But I think channeling was something like a gift that you already had after you got to learn all these things, right?
When I delivered my first baby, my son, I realized that he had.
You told Sai Baba, Ganesh Ji, Durga Ma. You used to channel Sai Baba.
Sai Baba has always been in my life. We were never ever apart. Probably I might have known him many lifetimes. But he came to me as a father, a very protective father who, with such warmth,
That person is alive, not alive. You just have to say that forgiveness. But also, of course, you release that spirit
don't get involved.
from a contract, as we say in Akashic records.
Yeah, like leave that house or go somewhere else for a while. And suddenly I heard that voice. Leave her alone.
Hi, and welcome to another episode of the Arpita Thakur Show. Today, we are going to have a special guest who is into channeling, and she channels from her masters, from her spirit guides, from god goddesses, from her departed loved ones and others' loved ones. So she's a very special guest, but she has kept a very silent a note of her activities. So today she is on our podcast and she will reveal a lot of other insights on how you can channel and what all you can channel and just what you need to channel. For her, according to her, channeling is the gift that everybody has. So, in this episode, we will explore more of channeling. Let us explore this topic. Hi, Shireen. Welcome to my show, The Arpita Thakur Show.
Thank you for calling me, Arpita. Really happy to be here.
Thank you. Thank you, Shireen, for joining me today. And today, I'm sure we are going to have a lovely episode.
Yes, you're going to open Pandora's box from what I hear.
I know you have been always silent about your work, not much, spreading about what you do. But so I thought I'll bring you up so that, yes, I can open this box for you. So let me start with this. What are the things that actually you do? There are so many things that I know that you do. So I would love the audience also to know what you do.
Okay, I started many years ago with tarot cards. That's when I knew that I was more attracted to the inner arts. And then I went to Reiki. I stopped tarot cards because I felt people were getting too dependent on me. So that was not what my intention was.
Okay.
I did Reiki again 20 years ago. Things have obviously changed now. Now, then I did Reiki, Kriya Yoga, 3 years with Ananda, and now I'm doing Akashic Records. 4 years ago, I picked up a book it's called Saivani. It is cards, Baba's, those cards. Every time for the
Babas, you mean as?
Sai Baba, sorry. Every time I opened that book for 4 years, it kept going channel, channel, channel. And I kept asking Baba, what do you want me to do? You know? Anyway, after 4 years, I meet Arpita for hoping that she'll teach me. What did I come to? What is that?
Channel, no, bachelors.
Bach therapy.
Yes.
Lo and behold, Arpita sends me this beautiful video on Akashic, and I become an Akashic reader. And then I said, Arpita, do you do channeling also? And she says, yes, I do. So now I channel.
But I think channeling was something like a gift that you already had.
Yes.
But might be you started tapping it, right after you got to learn all these things, right?
Yes, I got a hint when I was much younger. And when I started seeing a lot of things, I wasn't really happy with it. So I kind of blocked it for a long time.
I know.
Very, very long time. But I channel Sai Baba, uh, Durga Ma, Ganesh Baba comes, and many loved ones who want to spend, give their messages on how they are.
Wow, that's the diseased loved ones.
Yes,
So they do come to you.
yes, I hear them when I do want to, and sometimes when I don't want to, I block them.
Okay. Oh, that's interesting way. So wait, first questions. You channel. You told Sai Baba, Ganesh Ji, Durga Ma. So like, how did this start? Like, how did they come and into your channeling process?
There's no word or voice, it's just such a strong knowing. You know it's them. You feel that energy of Durga, you feel Baba. I don't know how it is, but I just know it's them. With Ganesha, he's such a happy, jolly person. I'm going to call him a person because, he's such a lovely energy to be with. In fact, I call him my best friend.
Wow, so nice.
I told him, I said, I'm going for Arpita's podcast. You better come with me.
And what did he say?
You don't have to ask.
So you have carried with you Lord Ganesha's energy here. So
Absolutely.
I'm really honored. So tell me, but how did all it start for you? You know, this journey of channeling. How did it start, and how did you know that actually you're channeling?
I probably didn't sense when I was first channeling, but I started seeing spirits at a very young age, which I of course ignored. And one day when I was pregnant with my older son, I was in my grandmother's house lying down late at night, tossing and turning. Suddenly, when I woke up, I saw this man standing right beside the bed. First, I said, no, couldn't be true. Closed my eyes again, hoping and praying that whatever it was would go. Then looked up again. It was standing right there, but it had a very sad look, you know. And anyway, the natural way screamed, ah, I can see a person. so, so my grandmother, I described the person to my grandmother, and my grandmother said, no, no, that is the old cook that used to be there when you were a baby, who loved you very much. So,
Wow.
who's
So
just
sweet.
being there. When I delivered my first baby, my son, I realized that he had a club foot. A clubfoot is a medical term which needs a lot of surgery and rectification and what do you call it, casts and things like that, doctor trips. So probably I felt he was trying to tell me to be brave, that something painful like this is going to happen for you and for the baby. So I do see him now and then, but I really don't pay too much into it.
So do you call him sometimes for guidance?
No,
No.
no,
And when you mentioned, of course, that you got scared when you saw him.
yeah.
So when you came to know that he's your cook.
No, then I
No, no.
so I guess that's with me. Probably it's like any ordinary people. You fear people you don't know. Like, you're apprehensive.
Like fear of the unknown is always there.
Yeah.
That is more than the known.
Like even now, I'm very comfortable with known spirits. If somebody comes and says, there was this lady, she asked me, can you ask my husband, is he happy? And the husband said, yes, I'm very happy. You don't know how much I'm so grateful to you for making me a father, giving me two beautiful children, giving me the honor of loving you and you loving me. It was such a beautiful, he says, I'm so happy. I'm in such a happy place and I wish you to be happy.
So that is a channeling for the diseased loved ones.
Most of the this thing is that they're very sad that their loved ones are missing them so much.
That's true.
They want to go forward, they want to progress, but they don't know how to tell them, listen, buddy, I'm happy, you be happy.
But why do you think that, the loved ones, the diseased loved ones, why do you think that they cannot give this message directly to their loved ones, and why do you think they need mediums for that?
Because I think the loved ones are so closed in grief.
Okay.
I feel like I personally feel that everybody is a channel, an open channel. You've just got to keep yourself open, and this is good advice for myself also, you know.
Yeah.
So
Open in the way what? Like, can you just.
open to not just people, but open to spirits, open to any kind of sign that is coming your way, whether it may be divine or whether it may be some sort of message. Believe it. If you hear something,
Yeah.
believe it.
But don't you think that either people, of course, believing is one thing, but don't you think people don't even get to know that actually they're receiving the signs?
I feel personally deep down they know that it's happening, because see, it's a knowing. There's something which no word, there is no word in any language that can describe, you know, what how a channel is, but they all know, but they kind of I think day to day life, the energy is different, caught up with their cell phone.
So might be because they're caught up in so many other things that.
Yeah, the energy is diffused, I
Yeah,
would say.
yes, yes. The energy comes, but it's like almost like ignored.
Ignored, yes. You hear a message, but ignored.
Okay.
Many times I have said, coming, and I suddenly, yeah, and said, I heard my mother, but she's dead.
So how do you react that time? Like how do you respond if anybody like spirit, just say like coming? Don't you get scared that who is this and how am I hearing
No, no,
this?
this was I. So I could hear
Yeah.
my voice being called out, probably from
Oh,
the from the inner ear or whatever. And then, coming. Oh, I think my mom's dead.
interesting. So tell me, when you channel now Ma Durga, like is it that during a specific time or event or a situation Ma Durga comes to you?
More for me, channeling. She comes more for me right now, because I think I'm on a crossroad. What I feel is that they're removing all my fears for some sort of job that they want me to do. And I have a funny feeling it's something to do with spirits. Otherwise, I wouldn't be talking about it.
Okay, so you feel that now you're connecting with Ma Durga more often. Might be Ma Durga is trying to give you that strength and that courage.
The oneness, that that it's not you and me. It's I am within you, I am everywhere, divine mother, because I worship divine mother in any form, whether it be the sun rays, or whether it be a person, or whether it be an animal. I see divinity, I see their hunger, I see their thirst, I see their love, their kindness, their pain.
So you sense those energies.
Yeah, yeah,
And that is why you say you are an open channel.
I believe so.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm saying it, so oh my god, people are going to get so.
So just briefly tell me about an incident where your channeling has helped someone and you felt very good about it.
Okay, I'll tell you how the channeling has helped the spirits.
The spirits,
Yeah, the
the
deceased,
departed
the
ones.
departed ones who are caught. One fine day, I have a friend who said she also does this. So she said, why don't you also try it? Be kind, do seva. So I said, okay, fine. So she told me how to do it. So I said, okay, fine. So I took all my gurus and everything in my heart, and I said, whoever wants to go towards the light, to let me know, and I will send you.
So just like that?
Yeah, I just said it all. Oh, they're here. They're here very well. Their network connection is like this.
More than very powerful.
Yeah, yeah. If one gets to know that you can hear them, believe me, you'll have quite a rush.
Yeah.
So then I saw quite a rush in the house, and I said, no, this is not right. I visualized a room, and I told them to be there. So every Thursday they would come there, and I would have my gurus there. We would say a prayer to thanking them, and I'd open this door into this bright light, and I would see like God, standing there. That bright light is God's heart, and His arm standing there. And I say, Lord, receive them with love into your heart. And I see these billions and billions and billions of little orbs going towards the light. And then when it's over, the door is closed, the window is closed, and I thank everybody and I come down.
That's so interesting. And you have fixed a day for that?
I used to do it on a Thursday.
So you told Thursdays. So how come this was like a specific day, like Thursday? Why Thursday?
Because it's Baba's day, Sai Baba's day.
Oh, so you used to channel Sai Baba when you used to release them, like.
Sai Baba has always been in my life as a picture, or, I've always seen him, like he's been around in my life.
So tell me, Shirin, how did you connect with Sai Baba?
Sai Baba, I got connected. A friend of mine, an old school friend of mine, came and stayed with me and gave me a book on Sai Baba. And while reading it, I felt such a oneness with him. Like we were never ever apart. Probably I might have known him many, many lifetimes. But he came to me as a father, a very protective father who, with such warmth. And then I got to know two things Sai Baba teaches is Shraddha and Saburi. And two things which I really needed in my life was faith and patience. I think he's still teaching me patience till today. But he gives me a lot of messages for people. Surprisingly, whoever has come into my life, whether they be friends or people who come to work or whatever, they are all connected with Sai Baba in some way or the other. They are all Baba's bhakts.
So through you, Sai Baba helps them?
Yes, sometimes, sometimes it's like a lady kept saying, she said, she probably, I don't think, had a very good relationship with her family, and she wasn't really happy, couldn't make her mind up. So Baba will say, okay, tell her to do this, tell her to read this, ye puja karna, dhuni puja karna, worship my feet, things like that.
So how will you tell people, those who want to feel like connecting with Sai Baba, how should they start with? From where should they start with?
It's very simple. Open your heart.
Like how? People will ask.
Just give, just, sometimes we have to decide, like it took me a while, I like to control lot of situations, everything used to be controlled. How I meet Baba, how Baba will talk to me, and that really didn't work very well, not realizing that I was, controlling it. Then many situations came in my life where I just had to, put my hands up in the air and I said, these things are out of my control. And funnily, moment I did that, like, left the wheel, Baba took the wheel over and things happened so beautifully. Unexplainable. So unexplainable that I cannot even tell anybody. Nobody will believe me that this happens.
So tell me one thing also, that you have always, been on a very, you say, silent mode about your practices and all that. So tell me, how did you come here on this podcast show?
I would say Archangel Metatron. When I was channeling, I was at the Akashic Records. He clearly came and said that I have a message for Arpita, please give it to her. And then I gave you your message. And before that, this was like about a month or two, I was out feeding the cats. And suddenly I just thought to myself, what am I doing? I'm doing Akashic Records. I've done channeling. I'm doing this. I'm doing Hunkara with Leem. I said, I'm not even on Facebook. I'm not even on Instagram. I'm not on anything. And I'm not even savvy, with all this. I said, how on earth will I ever get to know, or people will get to know that I can help them? So, anyway, I stayed quiet. While I was talking to you and telling you your message, out of the blue, you came and said, would you like to come on a podcast? And I'm saying, normally I would have said, no way, because I am so shy. I mean, I would never ever even talk like this. But something in me said, yes, go. I said, okay, fine, Arpita, yes.
So probably this question that was in your mind, no, how will people come to know that I helped them? So I think this has served as a right, way to show yourself first, to show your abilities.
Probably,
Yeah. So the universe is so much aligned that it always sends us signals. It always sends us signals that needs to be understood by us, and it's all those kind of signals that are always good for our growth.
Absolutely. But are we willing to take those signals? That is
That's
what it is.
yeah. So that's what I asked, that whether Do we understand also these signals?
No.
What do you think are the ways that, these signals are sent? Like, people say the angelic numbers.
Songs. Angelic numbers, I would say, because everybody goes on the net and it says something. No.
Yeah.
I wouldn't go there. Sometimes songs, movies, sometimes you'll get a message. Because you've prayed to God for something, you've asked God for something, and then suddenly you'll get an answer. Okay, you said that, and this is how it happened because there's some scene going on in the movie, and that might have really, happened with you and said,
Yeah.
oh, so okay, it's that person. Okay, so God saved me like that.
Yeah. So you resonate with something.
Very much.
Yeah. It could be songs, it could be like through scenes or movies or.
Books.
Yeah.
Mostly these things will come with songs.
Okay. With songs.
Yeah.
So you have to be careful about what you're hearing. You should observe that,
Yeah.
be in awareness of that.
Yeah. People, a lot of people, sometimes God talks through people.
Yeah.
Like I had this horrible cough, asthmatic cough, and I was saying, no way will I ever be going to Arpita's show. I said, I'll be coughing. And suddenly, from inside, it says, go, you need to talk.
So you mean to say that people should be aware of their hearing?
Yeah. Sometimes it's a knowing, sometimes you'll hear things. Sometimes, like how the aroma of agarbatti just spreads all over. That's kind of the feeling you get of a message, like from within.
Okay. So, but it's like more of hearing, as you told. Like for you, it is more of hearing.
Not anymore. It's more knowing.
Okay.
It's not words. You just know. There's no word in English that I can describe it also. I just know, okay, this is what it is, say this. It's like from the gut, like a gut feeling. And it comes from there.
Okay.
And if it's coming from the mind, then believe me, that is not a message.
How do you distinguish between that then?
When something's coming with such clarity, then you know that is the mind and that is something you should not be doing. But sometimes when it comes more inner, more from within, around the gut area, the stomach area, then you know that this is something. Like how sometimes you're doing something wrong and there is a feeling, and you know you're doing something, warns you that you're doing something wrong. That is what I'm talking about. Where even though you're doing it and you still continue to doing something wrong, and something is, it's a knowing that I'm hurting this person, I'm doing something wrong, that is what I'm talking about. That is the messages.
And tell me one thing. Do you also get messages about now if something wrong is going to happen in your life? So anything sad or anything wrong, and then you channel that, might be, but don't you get scared that why should I, channel this? Why is it necessary for me to know?
There are many instances where I'm warned, don't go out now, don't do this, don't talk, don't do that, for other people also. And there's sometimes I do call up, whether it's my children or whatever, they might not really, get me. Oh, ma, please, that's what I get. So then I start instantly praying, hardcore praying. Then I send, healing prayers, messages, into the universe. Save. That's where my Ma Durga comes in. Ma.
Okay.
I love her as a mother, so I keep telling her, your grandchildren,
So sweet.
love my children.
So you get messages even if people have not come to you. You get messages even for them.
Yeah, but then it was turning too much, it was turning an overload, so I switched off.
How did you switch off?
I just say no from inside.
So when you say no, it doesn't come to you then?
No, it doesn't come.
Oh, so that's also the one way of universe listening.
Sometimes you really need to, put the switch off, because 50-60% of the people don't believe you.
But you want to help people, so why do you switch off then?
Because who's going to believe me? If I say this is, that your loved one is saying that or this thing, ek to dar jate hain. Oh, please.
So what advice would you give then to the audience, those who are listening to this podcast, that if somebody tells you certain messages that is important to you, it could be from your loved ones, it could be from your spirit guide, how should they take that?
See, first of all, for them to believe it, my advice would be Hear what the person is. Let the person talk.
Yeah.
You will know, you will know that the feeling inside, that yes, this is the message. You will feel that essence of the message, the vibration. It is from my loved one. And then it depends on how you take it.
So it's like you feel a resonance, right? When somebody is speaking to you.
No, it is, if I'm when I'm giving the message to
Yeah.
the other person, for the other person to realize whether they want to believe it or no, you know,
Hmm.
and whether it is true or false. Sometimes when I'm giving the message, they can resonate with it. They can feel, yes, that energy. I'm just transferring that energy. And most of them is that, please don't cry, don't, get on with life.
So they say that.
Yeah, the main thing is that, tell them don't waste, because when they die, they have regrets sometimes that they have wasted their life worrying over stupid, mundane things, over breakable things, fighting for nothing, when you could have loved yourself, loved other people, probably spent their time trying to find their truth, their inner self.
So tell me, Shireen, one of any of your client study or where you really felt happy and you felt very good after helping a friend or after helping a person who came to you with this motive that please help me in this situation, and you could do the channeling. Through channeling you could help her.
Yeah, I did. I do have a friend, and I channeled her brother. Her brother came and gave a very lovely message that he's happy. He's very thankful for her for taking care of him, and he wanted her again to be happy. He said, don't be so hard on yourself, you know. If you felt that, sometimes when our loved ones die, we feel that guilt. We could have done something more, we could have done better. So maybe, this lady had this in her heart, and he kept saying, he says, you've done what you were supposed to do karmically. That was the word. You did what you did. I'm very happy. I am going to be your guardian angel. Don't worry. Every time you stand under a tree, think of me. And he says, I will take care of your husband and your children. It was beautiful. And then her mother was also there. Her mother also had, again, loving this thing. And while they probably wanted to, give her the message, how much they loved her and how grateful and thankful they were to her, I saw them going into the light. I have never experienced that. It was so beautifully. The mother went, and then the brother came down and said, a few messages more, and like a little swirl went up. It was the most beautiful thing I have ever experienced.
And how did your friend feel after that?
Hopefully better. Hopefully better.
That's so nice. But that was a closure, right?
Yeah. And then with me also, sometimes when I do my inner channeling myself, when I sit with myself, wanting to know why certain feelings come, feelings of, like sometimes I feel, I'm not good enough, and then I feel that I wish I could do something more. Immediately when I was feeling this, I saw my school teacher
Okay.
when I was in class 1 2. She used to beat me up very badly, you know. And she was the one who caused me being fearful to go to school. So the fear, that feeling at being beaten up for not doing your homework, being beaten up, and even though I knew my words, I could not say it out of fear. So moment I forgave her, and I said, oh no, I, s- I said, I'm sorry, please forgive me. I did not realize that she was held back because of the feelings I had for her. Moment I said that, I saw her going so fast into the light. It was amazing. And that's when I realized, when we have ill thoughts of people, ill feelings, those souls actually, care of what you think or feel about them.
So they are stuck because of you think about them in that way?
That is what I felt with my teacher. Because I mean, I would not repeat her story to a lot of people, but yes, I did mention it. Oh, this happened in my life. Oh, this, she did this to me. She did this to me. it really does pull them down.
Okay. So by forgiving them, you release them also.
You forgive, yeah. Not only do you forgive a person like this lady, but everybody who's come in your life and hurt you in some way or the other. It that forgiveness just comes over you.
So it is even after they depart, from this physical world, you can say forgiveness to them, right?
Yes, they hear you, they hear everything. They can see you, they can hear you, they are with you.
So interesting. That's I think that every person should understand that whenever and at whichever moment you feel internally that I could have done something better, or was not the right thing that I did to this person, immediately, whether that person is alive, not alive, you just have to say that forgiveness. And instantly, I do also feel that not only you become lighter, but also, of course, you release that
You
spirit
release it.
from a contract, as we say in Akashic
Yeah,
records.
and that one person is like a model for all the thing other people that have hurt you or physically hurt you emotionally. It just wiped out because then I just to test myself I sat and thought about two three other people, and there was this forgiveness is that you have no thoughts at all, no ill thoughts. It's gone.
Yeah, it wipes away everything.
You know, we always say yes, I've forgiven you,
Yeah,
but have you?
yeah.
You know, though you still have those that picture or that feeling, that emotion about that person.
So I think if we want to test that actually whether we have forgiven, again, you can think about that person and understand what kind of emotion you're getting, like what kind of emotion you are,
If it's
connecting
that
to.
if it's same sadness
Yeah,
or pain or hurt, that means the forgiveness is not there.
yeah, yeah. It should be just nothing that you don't, now you just don't feel anything. That's
Just
all.
put your hand on your heart and say, I forgive you, you forgive me.
Yeah.
You be happy, I be happy. And just say it and ask God to bless it. And believe me, it's gone.
Okay, so tell me now, coming to the end of our podcast also. So, what we have understood now, what I have understood from you, and I think what our audience has understood, that channeling is something that is possible for everyone. Anyone can do it, right? Just you need to have this openness, that awareness, and of course, that observation, as we say, okay? And don't ignore if you're receiving certain sign.
Yes.
And this is also what I do believe, that once you pick up a sign, the universe know that you're picking up a sign, so they send you more signs, and that opens you more again to the universe.
It's like another level. Okay, now level two, level three.
Okay, she passed level 1, so now
Yeah.
let's make her to level 2. Let's take
Yeah.
Okay, so this is about the channeling, and I understood that you channel spirit guides, your Sai Baba Mad, and I think everybody can do the way you told.
Easily. What is there? Why should they not do it? What is different between the spirit and us? We have a body, they don't.
Yeah,
Let's look at it that way.
yeah, okay,
So,
yeah.
so we're equally powerful as they. Or maybe no.
Interesting. Okay, so let's come to the last part of our section now. Okay, so this is a rapid fire round. Okay, now rapid fire means, of course, you have to answer rapidly. Okay, so let's take this on a very lighter note. Okay, so let me frame the questions and let me ask you the questions. So let's start our rapid fire round. The first question, if I ask, what's the most craziest thing that you have channeled?
A telephone ring and a harp music.
A telephone ring. So can you just tell us what?
It just kept ringing, tring, tring. You know, the old fashioned ring, tring, 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 tring.
So what does that indicate?
I don't know. I asked also.
Yeah.
I said, maybe somebody wanted to call me. Then later on, the doorbell rang.
Oh.
Now I remember. The doorbell rang. So it was probably trying to tell me, get up. Somebody's at the door, probably.
So what is the most you say unlikely thing that you have channeled?
Well, once um, I was about to warn a friend. She was in a house where the vibrations were not very good, and she was not keeping very good health. So I was trying to get to her to tell her, like, leave that house, or go somewhere else for a while. And suddenly I heard that voice, leave her alone.
Oh,
Yeah, don't get involved.
so that was a sign for you.
Yeah, yeah.
That's the most unlikely thing you had heard.
Yeah, that's something that was like much more powerful. But I prayed. Did I warn her? Yes, I did.
Okay, so tell me now, what's the funniest thing that you have channeled?
My dog Husky. I asked him. I said telepathically. I said, should I? Can I read your mind and tell everybody? No.
So you were
Very
like-
clearly, no. I said, can I read you later? No.
Tell me, how do you feel, actually think that, you are actually channeling and it's not your mind speaking? Is it your gut instinct, or is it that resonance that other people get through the message that you give? Or is it just your belief that, yes, I am channeling?
No, it's two ways. You know, it is gut most definitely, and also the message also. Does the person also, does he resonate, or does she believe, or relate to the message is very important.
Okay. And tell me one last message for the audience that you want to give. A channeled message, might be through Sai Baba. You can close your eyes, you can just take a minute.
The message is only on love. Love one another as I have loved you, is what Jesus has said. Be kind, be loving, be humble, show sympathy and empathy, feed the poor, be kind to the voiceless. Look after Mother Earth and Mother Nature. This is all we have, is Mother Earth. Be kind to her. That is the message I channeled.
Thank you so much. This is a very wonderful message. And
Thank you.
I'm sure audience resonate with this message also.
I hope so too.
Yes.
Hope so too.
Thank you so much, Shireen, for being a part of this episode. And it was lovely having this conversation of channeling with you. And I'm sure now, just open your, what do you say, gift box? The
Pandora's box.
Pandora's box, and let
Oh,
your
there are going to be a lot of
abilities
raised
shine.
eyebrows when I reach home. Oh, so this is what you do. Caught red-handed.
So now you're out of the box, okay?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
let people approach you, and I hope the audience approach Shireen Khan for, for channeling whatever you want to channel. You want to channel your spirit guides, through your guides, or through your departed loved ones. I think that's the best way.
Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you so much, Shireen, once again.
Thank you, Arpita.
Thank you. It was lovely
Thank you
having
so
you.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey viewers, if you really like this episode today on the show, please do share, like, and subscribe, and do post in your comments what would you like to hear more about. Thank you so much for always being with me on this journey. Thank you for being on this show, the Arpita Thakur Show. Keep watching.